up? Yo, this is the Black Anime Guy, and I just got back from seeing Kung Fu Panda 2. It is kick-ass. So the basic premise of the story is we come back and we see Po again, and he has adapted to his dragon warrior mentality, and then now he's a part of the Furious Five. And they all team up, they save the village from danger and all that stuff. And one day they find out that this one guy, a peacock, is trying to destroy Kung Fu, and they are sent off to this mysterious land where they have to defeat him and save Kung Fu as well. Now, the original movie, I was a huge fan. I love Kung Fu, I love animation, so those are two things that it already has going for it. And this movie is just so awesome. When I watched it, it's just like they're kicking ass everywhere. Jack Black is good as the role of Po. I don't deny him that. He is definitely Po. He is Po. So let's get to the pros of the movie. The first pro is the writing, the direction, and the cinematography of the movie and the score were phenomenal. The story in this movie, compared to the first one, made the first one look kind of eh. There was more character development, mainly on Po as a character, and there was a deeper story, I think, in it. You could really relate to these characters. They were going through some troubling times, and, you know, they were going through some emotional issues. Both the hero and the villain were going through emotional issues, which is good when you can relate to also the villain, even though most villains are more pushed to the side. The villain in this movie, voiced by Gary Oldman, nonetheless, did phenomenal. I thought the peacock was freaking frightening and crazy as a character, and he was very menacing. I liked his character. The chemistry between most of the characters, especially Po and Tigress, were great. Like, at first, Po and Tigress didn't like Po as much, but then they developed and now they're becoming like good friends, and it's all good and wonderful. Sadly, I did not get to see this movie in 3D, but I bet you that if I did see it in 3D, this movie would have been awesome. There were some scenes in this movie where I felt like the 3D really would have enhanced the experience. That's why I'm going to watch it again with my friend, Gregory. Sorry, I had to make a shout out there. I'll see you soon, Greg. The action scenes in this movie are phenomenal. It trumps the first movie in action scenes. The action was crisp, clean. You could see where the blows were being delivered and everything. It was so awesome. Why can't action movies be like that? You know, it's just like swift movements and quick punches. It was awesome. It beats the first movie in that, really. Now for some cons. The first con that I really noticed is that I felt like some of the characters, mainly the other four of the Furious Five, were lagging. Like, you got Tigress, I mean, she's cool and all, but what about Monkey and Mantis and Crane and Viper? They were more like side characters in this movie, and they weren't used to their potential unless they were fighting. I would have really loved to see the dialogue between some of the characters. Like in the first movie, when the Furious Five were learning about Po and how he's the Dragon Warrior, they all had conversations with each other, and they all were like, "Oh, this guy is coming and taking over. We can't let that happen." But in this movie, they were like, "Whatever you say, Po. Oh, Po, you're so funny. Ah ha ha." I mean, I really wanted there to be more to their character, and I felt like they were more comic relief than they were of, you know, standalone characters. Speaking of underused characters, Master Shifu was barely in this movie. He was in the beginning of the movie and near the end of the movie. Now, he did have some awesome action scenes, but I felt like he was underused as he was in this movie than in the first. But it's understandable because he's like that withering old master. He's in that withering old master face. Like in the first movie, the turtle was the withering old master. Now it's Shifu's turn to be the withering old master. But when he's gonna kick ass, he will kick ass. The pacing in this movie kind of felt choppy. Like there were a few scenes where the characters are having like a dialogue, and then it cuts to them like trying to sneak in. I'm like, whoa, that was a big jump. It felt a little choppy and a little weird as it went along. I don't know, it just bothered me. And this is not a con, but this needs to be mentioned. There was a woman in the movie theater sitting right next to me who had the most annoying laugh. Like, every time, here's a scene. Like, Po would say something funny, and she would go like this. She ruined the movie for me a little bit. Like, I can understand she's having a great time, but she was annoying as hell. Overall, though, I really enjoyed this movie. I recommend seeing this more than Hangover Part 2. Only for the fact that I felt like the story in this was more original, and I also felt like the animation was crisp, the 3D was phenomenal, the acting was great, the direction and the writing were way better, I will say that. And I'll give this movie, for the first time ever, a 4.5 out of 5. A near perfect movie. What did you think of the movie? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Comment below. Let me know. Anyway, this is the Black Anime Guy, and I'll see you all soon. Peace, YouTube.